Welcome everyone to day number 11 of the Sewing Room Declutter Challenge 2026. I'm Karen Brown of Just Get It Done Quilts, and together we are clearing out the unwelcome, the unwanted, and the no longer necessary to make space for a year full of creativity, clarity, and joy. And congratulations, you have made it to Hump Day. We are officially halfway through the challenge. And if you're anything like me, you've made a number of trips to the recycling bin, the donation center, and the garbage. So well done, everyone. And today we're focusing on two workhorse areas of our sewing space: our cutting station and our ironing station. For you, that may be just one spot. So, step one, as always, is taking your timer. You're halfway through now. I'm sure you know what interval works best for you. So step two is to define your capacity. And today that is probably very easy as our stations are already defined. Though, there are edges of the stations that can spill over into others. Let's start with our cutting station, which is composed of cutting mats and rulers. It also includes cutting tools, but we've already covered those on day 8. So again, the question of the day is, do I use this here? Mats are a primary tool in quilting. Without them, we can't use our rotary cutters. If you have a small space, you only need one. And it needs to be wide enough so that you can take a piece of fabric, fold it together on the selvages, and cut it widthways. This mat is a 36 by 24, but there are also a slightly smaller one available, which is 24 by 18. And you also need to be able to store this mat sometimes, and it needs to be flat. So sometimes bigger isn't always better. This big one has made it through another year. I am surprised, but I know I'll have to replace it sometime soon in the future. These are big ticket items, so if yours is damaged, cracked, or no longer flat, make sure you add them to your brain dump to remind you to watch for coupons and save up for a new one. Now, if you are short on space, small mats can do the same job as a rotary mat. All you need to do is spin it around. So if you've downsized, maybe that is something that you can let go of. Step 3 is to declutter that doesn't serve you. So if you've been quilting for a while, you have probably replaced your mat a couple of times as you've tried different surfaces and marks and gouges appear. So where are those old ones? You might have kept them for just in case. But do you actually use them? This might be the year to let them go. So step 4 is to remove them from your space. And surprise, surprise, I have a couple of extras this year. So I love this new magnetic cutting system, this mat and rulers from Sew Tights. And you use it with these magnets. I used to use it in my studio, but now I have this huge one that they have now available. So I've brought this one home to use here, which means I can take this one and give it to my neighbor who's that new quilter. I also have a couple of rejects from my Temu purchases. They were too thin and the wrong scale, and I'm letting them go. Now let's move on to rulers. If you've been quilting for a number of years, you've probably tested out a number of different brands, and you probably have multiples in the same shape but different sizes, and they all take up space. So start first by defining your capacity. And you might have 2 spots. One near your cutting area for all your favorites, and then another spot for all those specialty rulers that you just use occasionally. And remember, the more space that your rulers take up, the less space you have for other tools and your fabric. Then declutter. Grab your favorite ones first, and note that your favorites this year might be different from your favorites last year. Remove the duplicates, inspect the rest for cracks, chips, and missing markings. If they can no longer be accurate, they can no longer do their job. Let them go, and if you still need one, plan for a replacement. Next, take a look at your specialty rulers and templates. When was the last time you used them? And what is the likelihood of ever using them again? Many workshops, rulers, and templates are single-use tools. If the answer is no, you're allowed to let them go. And if you have a long arm, you need to repeat this process there. And the last item at your cutting stations are measuring tapes. You can get a lot of these in kits, giveaway bags, and promotions. Check that they're still accurate and that they're in the right measuring units and that they're still in good condition. I used to think that these were just junk, but then I looked at my process and I realized I need a measuring tape probably at least once a week. So last year I gathered them all up and I put one at my cutting and sewing station, I put one at my iron, and put one in both my retreat bag and my slow sewing kit. So this year I'm good. Now let's move to your ironing station. So first, start with your capacity. This DIY ironing station is one of my favorite things that I have ever made. So I'll leave a link to that video in the notes. For many of you, your ironing station might just be a wool mat and an iron, and that's perfectly fine. The next step is to declutter. How many irons do you actually own? Are any leaking or unreliable? I did a video on leaking irons, so if troubleshooting doesn't fix the issue, let it go. Next, let's look at your ironing accessories. There are wool mats, there are pressing pads, there are hams, clappers, spray bottles, starch, glue, and seam tools. I also have a couple of lint brushes. I use this parchment paper anytime I'm working with fusible interfacing, and I have this with some markings on it anytime I'm doing a press seam. Over on the side here, I have a couple of other tools. Of course, I've got my measuring tape. I have some snips, a seam ripper, a pin cushion, a bias tape maker. So ask yourself, which ones of these do you actually use? And you know the drill. If you don't use it, why is it here? I do have some hanging hooks off the side of this station that I've never used, so I'm going to remove that. And on this side, I have another spot where I keep a small broom and dustpan. And this is where I keep my small rotary mat. And I found some things that should not be there. I'm going to leave that for next week. And my thread catcher was a bit expensive, but I really love it. Resetting these two stations can make a really big difference in your sewing area, as well as making your sewing flow smoother, safer, and more enjoyable. And it's looking pretty clean and slick. You would hardly know that I still have all this side still to declutter. So now it's your time to share. What did you find hiding in plain sight? What did you finally let go of today? We are halfway through the challenge and the transformation is real. Share your progress, photos, or surprises using this year's hashtags. And let's continue to cheer each other on. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow for day number 12.